we interrupt your regular YouTube viewing for the absolutely, completely random podcast with Andrew Rhodes. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely, completely random podcast for Saturday, December 1st, 2018. My name is Andrew Rhodes, and welcome to the podcast where I pretty much talk for about a good hour or so about things around the world that are interesting, or things throughout the internet, which to most of us is the world. What's that big blue marble we live on? Earth? Nah. Does it have to do with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? That's all that matters to us. But anyway, what are my topics this week? The topics du jour, I should say. So this week I'm going to be taking a look at, believe it or not, Crunchyroll, an article from Crunchyroll, I should say. Netflix has acquired the worldwide license to Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yes, that's right. I'm also going to be talking about Netflix canceling Daredevil. Yes, that's right. Another one has been down the tubes on the Netflix line. Loot boxes are finally being investigated by the FTC, and in all honesty, I'll explain why in the article, and it's actually a welcome thing for once. Some good news when it comes to that. And believe it or not, something that I did not know about. The live-action I series has additional cast and visuals have been revealed for it. This is interesting to me. I did not know this was happening. This honestly was like, holy shit. I did not know this was happening. I did not know this was going to come out. I knew nothing about this. So I'm excited. Massively excited. But, as with everything else, this time, and this part of the show, basically. If you're in the market for anything odd, strange, unusual, weird stuff, weird shit, what have you, check out the eBay page of yours truly, ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. I have a wide variety of weird things out there, wide variety of strange iterations, things that just make you go bump in the night, and then damn, there's some interesting stuff there. So check it out. That's ARHOADS-2012. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter, @OtakuRhodes. You can follow me on the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page. And you can also follow me right here on the Web Designer 18 channel on YouTube, simply by hitting that subscribe button and clicking on the bell icon. That's all you really got to do. It's really fun, really great, and honestly, I enjoy spending time with you guys. All of you, I really do. Alright, so let's just talk about it this time around. So how'd my week go? Because that's the thing I always start off the podcast with every single week. So how'd my week go? Well, good and bad, for starters. Night shift is royally kicking my ass. Happily, I'm guessing, hopefully in the home stretch. Anybody wishing for snow, my wallet will hate you, but my mind will thank you. So please wish for some snow. I could use a night off. Like I said, my wallet will hate me for it, but my mind will be at peace. I spent most of yesterday asleep. I'm not joking. When you don't have to work nights, you get like one night off. Then all of a sudden it's, oh, hey, you wouldn't be awake during the day? Your body says no. And that's what was happening with me. I mean, I fell asleep at the laundromat, went out to the car, take a nap. And then I got rudely awoken by a crazy woman who's coming out there, banging on the window, knocking on the window, going, "You forgot your work shirt!" And I'm just like in a half daze, like, wait, what? Who? What do you... Who? What? And it's like, tapping on the window again, "You forgot your work shirt!" No. Do you have it on right now? Did you not take it off when you got home? No, I don't have it on me. Well, you forgot it! And I'm just like, what the hell was that? And I couldn't get back to sleep. I started getting really cold. I'm like, I hate this. So there was that. Then I ended up falling asleep in the afternoon. I was turned on, put on Car 54, Where Are You? With my grandfather. We were watching that. The last thing I remember was Tootie and Muldoon. not getting on the cruiser, and the next thing I remember is they're trying to kick out Mrs. Bronson from her apartment that's getting demolished. So that's big gap of memory loss there. I guess you could say I had a large memory gap loss in that. All in all, though, that was yesterday. I also managed to find something that I'm kind of wishing I hadn't have found. I'm getting buyer's remorse with this, I guess you could say. So as many of you out there know, I've had some bad luck with tablets. Now, happily, the tablet that I got at the start of November is still ticking. Thank God for that right now. Because I bought another one on eBay to kind of have as like a backup. One that's a little smaller screen. I went back to the 8-inch, and I was like, I want to get this, and this way I can get my games and my apps to move a little faster. No! They won't move very fast because I can't get some of them to load. First, it was only just Puzzles and Dragons, and this is on the newer one. Now, I still have my other tablet for those of you that play Puzzles and Dragons with me and Contest of Champions. I still have Tablet A. This was going to be Tablet B, which if would have worked, would have replaced Tablet A, and Tablet A would have became Tablet B. So, unfortunately, it didn't want to work, and I went through an entire amalgam of troubleshooting ideas in my head. I reset the thing twice. I have gone through and done everything I can possibly do. Now I've just sent the buyer a message going, hey, I can't get some of my apps to work. At first it was only Puzzles and Dragons, but the more I started checking into it then afterwards, like, okay, let me check the rest of these. At first some of these apps loaded up, but then after the initial, shoot up there, then they stopped. The first one was, and I'm really going to hate to say this, Webtoon wouldn't load up then. Contest of Champions gave me a massive error. And it wasn't that it crashed, it just started giving off an error. And some of the other ones wouldn't load up. The Play Store is starting to give me a hard time. And because it keeps telling me you need to update the Play Store. But I have the Play Store updated. Well, you need to update the Play Store, but the Play Store is updated. I can't update it anymore, and it's stuck in a loop. So I don't know if it's like a hardware issue, a software issue, or what the freaking heck it is at this point. All I know is that I'm a little pissed. Now, I'm out about $60 with this. It was brand spanking new, and that's what saddens me. It was that Dragon Touch. I know some of you out there on Twitter that follow me knew that I was asking if anybody had heard anything about it. Well, take my advice. Don't buy it. It's not worth your time. So I'm waiting to hear back from the seller as to maybe they have a solution, or I can possibly get some of my money back and I can look for something else. But I did, however, apparently find an answer to one of my questions as to why in the holy hell I could not play my one game. Turns out it needs 8 gigabytes of RAM in order to function at minimal performance. 8 gigabytes. Take a guess which app that was. I'll give you a hint. It's the one that crashed my last tablet and forced me to be without one for a good few days. If you answered Sword Art Online Integral Fractor, you're right, because that's the one it is. Apparently it takes like 8 gigs of RAM to run that bitch, and I didn't know this. And I'm like, well, how in the hell did my old tablet run this? I mean, I know it's slowed up at some points, but all my games slow up occasionally. How the hell did it run this? Apparently, my old tablet must have been high up gig. So now I'm looking back into the refurbished side because they might be better off than brand spanking new out of the box, which is sad but funny at the same time. So there's that. But that's been my week though so far. Just like one little train wreck after another. The crazy lady waking me up yesterday at the laundromat. That was funny. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. I did pick up some cool stuff. One thing in particular that I do plan to put up on eBay, I want to say this week, I got a neat little collection of Street Fighter little figurines. The entire set, mind you. I picked them up at my local Dollar Tree today. The whole set, all 12 of them, which honestly shocked me. I didn't know I was going to get all 12. So I have now the complete set. I'll be popping that up on eBay if anybody's interested in it. All I got to do is literally just take a picture of them. They're brand spanking new, perfect for your collection or anything. Just keep your eyes out on my eBay page. They're going to be going up for the holidays. I dug out some more of my Magic the Gathering cards this week that I had to try to get up, and just so much. And there's only so much I can do now with Night Shift. I just can't stand Night Shift. It kicks my ass and pisses me off so much. But that's been my repertoire. But otherwise, it's been an interesting week, and I hope that this coming week will be just as good. Just as good, I'm hoping. If you can't tell, I'm doing air quotes here. Just as good. Because I don't think it's going to be. I just have that feeling. But anyway, that's been my week. That's what's been going on. So let's get into the podcast. Let's jump into this. We got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to do it. Alright, so this is the interesting topic to start off with this week. So Netflix. All hail the mighty Netflix. The assholes of the world, basically at this point to me. They have confirmed the first details of their acquisition of the Neon Genesis Evangelion anime series. And they have got the license to cover the 1995 series as well as both of the companion films, Death and Rebirth and The End of Evangelion. Now, Neon Genesis Evangelion is one of those anime series that you have to have at least 4 or 5 series under your belt before you even attempt to watch. That freaking show is just nuts. It's as my one classmate in high school put it, it's Shinji Ikari's descent into madness, and God knows I agree with him on that. But basically, Netflix has got the rights to this, which scares the crap out of me for a multitude of reasons. For starters, it basically opens the door for them to try to get their hands on other properties that, truthfully, they really shouldn't touch. I mean, they're trying to compete now with everybody else. And this is coming at the same time that Netflix is ditching a majority of their Marvel stuff. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, well, we got all this anime stuff. Let's try to kick Crunchyroll's ass. No, you're going to get your ass handed to you on a silver platter. The series, though, that they've now acquired has been out of print since 2010. Now, I actually own a copy of it, though I should specify this. It was given to me by said former classmate in exchange for letting him borrow a couple of my anime series that I had because he wanted to watch them. So it was a fair trade. I got that. He could borrow those for a weekend to watch, and then I got them back on Monday, which was fine. I didn't have an issue with that because I had plenty of stuff to watch. Though my collection is a bunch of discs, and that's it. They function, they work, so I've seen it. I can go back and reference it if I have to, but I'm not really that big a fan of this either. So that's why it's not a big deal to me. He gave me that. I don't really give a crap. I'm not a big fan of it either. Well, the deal was shady to begin with because I think he got the better end of it because I had some better anime series that he wanted to see. But the whole thing is that it's just an complete and utter jackassery, if you will. So, I've watched the series, I've watched The End of Evangelion. All of it is basically one gigantic cluster of a screw you job to right into the bowels of hell that I don't like. And it's just idiotic. So, Netflix has now got the worldwide streaming rights for the series and the films, making the first time ever the Evangelion TV series and companion films will be available on a streaming platform outside of Japan. The series went out of print outside of Japan with the release of the first Eva Rebuild film back in 2010. Evangelion 1.11, You Are Not Alone. At least I think that's what the first one was called. I know it's 1.11 because then it was like 2.1, and then we were all complaining, waiting for 3, and I don't think 3 was worth it. So there was that. Honestly, the box set was in Japan back in 2015. The series and the films are planned to launch on Netflix spring of next year. This basically is going to make it so that anime fans can watch it again without having to basically crack open their wallets and pay the outrageous eBay price of, hey, I want to buy this. Yeah, that's great. Unfortunately, that qualifies as a crap ton of cash. You have to piss out. Now, there are people that hate this idea. So, yes, I understand your pain. God knows I understand it. Like I said, I'm not that big a fan of it. That's why I don't mind the crappy little version of it that I have, that I could honestly go, you know what, I'm really sick of this. I don't want to ever see this again, and just chuck it in the trash and not really care. I'm not out any money, personally. I got this from a classmate in exchange for, here's a few of my anime titles, watch them one weekend, and get them back to me. I don't like the series. I'm not that big. I mean, I like the robots in it, or the Avas in it. The plot's way out there. I mean, way the hell out there. I mean, in terms of plot-wise, you'd have to have a very strong mind in order to even comprehend half of it. Not to mention the fact that it is heavy on the religious crap, and that's one of the reasons why I'm just not a big fan of it. I never really liked it. The humor is just so far off-putting, and it's one of those series that it's good when you first see it, but then after you watch it and you realize, oh my god, I just watched this, you immediately reach for something else just to try to wash it from your mind. Though I will admit, the great people, and I think it was ADV Films that had it, they did come out with some better stuff, honestly, loads better. Get a Robo is one that I would highly recommend in a freaking heartbeat. I would recommend that. And it really hurts when I snap my fingers. Ow. Yeah. I would recommend Get a Robo in a heartbeat over this. I mean, it's not so much that I hate the series, it's that it's just an idiotic show, and the plot is just completely horrendously stupid. The fact that Netflix has bought this, they got the rights to this, they had to back up a buttload of money to somebody for this rights. Basically slaps in the face of, well, this is great, why do you want it, is my big question. Because I'm tired, I'm getting to that point where I'm sick of everybody going, well, Netflix will save this show. I don't want Netflix to save an anime series. If it's out of print, it's out of print for a reason. That means it became a classic. Classics are not supposed to stay alive. They're legends. They're things that stay the way they are because they're meant to be that way. You don't see me going, I really want to see The Girl Who Leapt Through Time again. Which, yeah, I do, but it's out of print now. Well, okay, it was, then they re-released it, so technically you can easily get your hands on it, but you got my point. If something's out of print, that means it's out of print for a reason. That means the fan base that wants it has it. If you want to be interested in it, track one of them down. There's sites that you can probably watch some of the episodes on, and that would be, like I said years ago, and I still quote this every time, when somebody goes, you have those those illegal, I shouldn't say pirates, those illegal anime sites like Kiss Anime and that. While yes, I frown upon those for the magnitude of crap that they create. With the, we're going to basically rob the creators of what little money they get from this stuff. At the same time, if it's a series like this that's out of print, hard as hell to get your hands on without dropping a butt ton of cash on the secondary market, go for it. Watch a couple episodes, see if it's up to your muster. See if it's something you really want to take the time and invest in finding. If it isn't, then don't worry about it. You're only out a couple episodes. You don't have to worry about spending a shit ton of money. Oh my god, I bought this. You don't have to worry about that. If, however, you decide, well, I do want to get it, then you have a chance to track it down. You can say, okay, I know how good this is, but I still want to get the volumes for all the extra stuff. Which is fine and understandable. That's my main issue with so many people pulling this, well, the sites are wrong, you shouldn't go on them. Yeah, I'm agreeing on that, you shouldn't go on them. But if it's something that's out of print, difficult to find, and you can't track it down, go to the site and at least see if it's worth it. Watch 2 episodes and go, is it worth watching an out-of-print series that you cannot get your hands on anymore by normal conventions? You have to go to eBay to track it down and try your best to get the whole set. That's when you look, is it worth it? And honestly, that's the point where you get to. But with Netflix getting this, it's like, well, screw that whole out-of-print stuff. We want to have every single anime out there. And that's a wonderful idea. Horrible people to be doing it. Netflix has a track record of wishy-washy of all their crap. And yes, I know I just said wishy-washy. But it's true. Because their version of, oh, we're going to save this show is, we're going to save this show so long as the fans like it. The minute the fans stop watching, there goes the show. And it's happened with, well, look at the original Marvel shows that they were just getting rid of now. You have Luke Cage, Iron Fist, they just dumped Daredevil. Almost all the Marvel stuff's going, but that's for a reason I'll get into when I get to that topic. Still, you have stuff like that that still bothers the hell out of people. Well, you're dropping this and this. Yeah, they're dropping it for a reason. And that reason is probably a good one, and it's something that we should understand. But if something like this is out of print oddity and it's rare, you don't sit there and go, I want to watch it on Netflix. YouTube clips of it. Get your fill that way. You could probably watch most of the episodes on YouTube. I guarantee you somebody has them up. Before YouTube yanks it down, I guarantee you that they are on there somewhere. But for Netflix to get it, I'm just not that big a fan of it. But maybe Netflix will do well with it. I know they have some other anime shows on there, some other anime series. So hopefully, God knows, hopefully, they won't screw the pooch on this one. Hopefully they don't Cartoon Network this bitch and really fuck it up. But honestly, I mean, it's just one of those weird, backwater type deals that honestly makes me cringe at night when I sleep. And this one's been bugging me all week. But I don't know. I don't feel it. I really don't feel the vibe. I don't know. I don't trust it. Then again, that could just be me. I don't know. Alright, so going on the whole Daredevil and Netflix thing, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, basically. Netflix announced earlier this week that they have canceled Daredevil, the Marvel series that they have been producing. It's done 3 seasons, and that's it. 3 seasons are done and over. And fans are pissed, mad, and not surprised. And let me explain what I mean by that. So, they canceled Daredevil Season 3 this week amid the massive, I guess you want to say, purging of the Marvel properties that they have. My coworkers and I were talking about this during our break the one night when we found out. They canceled it. This is after they've canceled Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and Daredevil now makes the next cut. Don't forget, though, Disney next year is coming out with their own streaming service. And that was one of the main topic points with this. So Netflix is basically trying to get rid of their entire Disney-Netflix relationship, as it were. Because they don't want to deal with the entirety of, oh, hey, look, we're on Netflix. We're doing Netflix-only stuff. No more Disney shit. That's what they want to go for, and fans are a little pissed off. Now, I understand why fans are mad. Don't get me wrong, I will understand it. One, there's nothing you can do. Netflix makes the final call here. It's not Marvel and it's not Disney. Marvel and Disney want to have it on their own platform. That's an obvious thing. And the ones that are going to be next is you have the Punisher is still doing one, I think. And Jessica Jones, I think she's up to her 3rd season now. Once that's aired and done, that's going to be the end of that show, at least on Netflix. once all the property licenses are used up, which should be, I think Jessica Jones will be the last one, besides the Punisher, you can guarantee almost immediately Disney Plus will have them on, because they'll go, new episodes of Marvel's Luke Cage, Marvel's Iron Fist, Marvel's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Punisher. All that stuff from Netflix is going to be shooting over onto the Disney Plus service, which is a no-brainer. Marvel and Disney are in bed with each other so far at this point that you don't know whether or not which side of the bed they're on, but you know that they're in bed together. Netflix, on the other hand, wants to have their hands in everybody's cookie jars, and they've already had their hands in Disney's, and they just didn't like the taste of the cookie, I guess. It's just an understatement. They just didn't like the taste of the cookie. That's fine. You're not going to enjoy a cookie that tastes like crap if, lo and behold, the cookie tastes like crap. Nobody's going to want to eat it. Nobody's going to want to have it, blah, 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 vice versa. But the fact that you have Netflix pulling this, we're going to get rid of the Disney properties. And fans are freaking the hell out about this. Well, you're getting rid of Daredevil. Why'd you get rid of Daredevil? Why'd you get rid of Luke Cage? Why'd you get rid of Iron Fist? They got rid of them because they had no choice. They know the writing's on the wall for them because Disney's streaming service is coming out late next year. When Disney Plus drops, they're going to want all the Marvel properties that they can get their hands on right there. That's why Disney wanted Fox. That way they can have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, all that stuff that they wanted that's Marvel-ish properties. Because the Fantastic Four and X-Men are under the Marvel property, but 21st Century Fox had them. And by property, I mean like the comics and all that. Disney wants all the comic books that Marvel basically has characters for under their roof. So basically, they want to have this gigantic, I guess the only good way I can say this is they want to have a giant orgy with all the Marvel characters in a way. I'm sorry to have you picture that. I'm sorry to have you picture that, but it's true. They basically just want to have a giant orgy with the Marvel characters as it is under their roof. It's basically, we want all the Marvel characters. We want, all of the characters. We want Wolverine. We want Fantastic Four. We already have 90% of them. We're just stuck with the last 10% that Fox has that won't give them up. Hey, look, we now own Fox. Thank you. And that's all they have to do. Whereas Netflix had Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Well, since it was a Disney partnership with them, Netflix still had the rights to it. But once the contract goes up, there you go. Now they're back on Disney's side again because Disney can go, hey, we want the properties back. They're ours. Yes, you had no choice. And Netflix won't argue with them because Disney's going to kill them as it is right now with their streaming plus service. I mean, Netflix costs like, what, 14 something or 17 something a month? My one coworker, my supervisor was bitching as he goes, well, now I'm going to have to get another subscription. Because that's just great. Well, if you want to watch Marvel stuff, you can't constantly hope that Netflix is going to have it. Because eventually Netflix is going to say, hey, we don't want to have this anymore. No, we're not going to show you the Marvel movies. No, we're not going to do this, that. And that's what's going to happen. The issue at hand here, though, is that we know where the shows are going. It's just a matter of time until they now get there. So it's just a waiting game to see if everybody's, theories as it is turns out to be true. In this case, it'll be pretty much true because Disney Plus is going to have to try to kick DC Universe's ass. Which shouldn't really be too difficult. Just don't make your price point per year $74.99. Miserable bastards. Don't hark on an old series that fans, diehard fans, want to still see a 6th season continuation of. You know what I'm talking about, Titans and Teen Titans. With that, that's going to be DC's fall. At least their fall from grace at this point. But as for the Marvel properties, you already have them well established. Because the DCU couldn't establish shit. They had to reboot Superman how many times? Batman how many times? We had the Batman with George Clooney that I saw so much as a kid. You've had all the Superman movies. You've had Superman Returns, Man of Steel. You've had Batman v Superman. You've had all three of the Batmans with what's his name in it. The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins. And I know I just said them out of order, but you get my point. They've rebooted those characters so much that their own continuity is called into question. Hell, the Justice League movie couldn't even put all the characters that they had in the same movie well enough, and the one character didn't even have his own standoff yet. The Flash didn't either, but neither did Aquaman. And Aquaman's only just getting his movie this year, and Justice League came out. So you have that. Wonder Woman already had a movie. Batman, Superman have had multiple ones for their genres and their characters, so who the hell cares? But with the DCU, they don't have their stuff in order. They don't have their hands in the right cookie jars, nor do they have the will or the want to put their hands in the right cookie jars. And that's fine. They know that, okay, we screwed up way too many times. We're never going to have the amount of characters and the amount of love that Marvel has with their stuff. Whereas Marvel has seemingly filled out each line in the MCU. From when Iron Man came out all the way to Infinity War. And even past it. They have filled out the lines. The Captain Marvel movie that's coming out is going to be the next one in the line, then Avengers 4. Because Captain Marvel's going to be in the fourth Avengers movie, because apparently that was Nick Fury's call at the end of Infinity War. So we know that the MCU is going to have their own version. And since Disney owns the MCU and they want everything Marvel, it stands to reason that, hey, we know we're going to beat the DCU with our own streaming service. I mean, they're already having a price point, it's almost $75 a year. Nobody is going to pay that much for, what, a whole bunch of old DC movies? Even the diehard DC fans are getting a little pissed off at this. I mean, you have the Teen Titans Go to the Movies was a disaster. They held Teen Titans Season 6 hostage. We're getting a Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans series. And that's everything that Warner Brothers and DC are limping to the barn with to try to keep themselves afloat. Whereas Marvel just keeps popping movie after movie after movie, and they just keep printing their own money on the money press, as it were. It's like, oh, whoa, we have a bad movie? Really? What movie sucked? We did pretty well so far. Let's see, Iron Man, all the Marvel movies we did, hell, Infinity War, and basically, Black Panther went gangbusters at the box office. And DC, we're afraid of them? Yeah, I'm not afraid of some wannabe hacks. Come on. They're nothing compared to us. We're Marvel! We're Marvel, goddammit! We own this! And with Disney owning them, like I said, the Disney Plus streaming service will probably be a good chunk of Marvel-related content, like the Marvel MCU movies, a lot of Disney programs, Disney movies, and things like that. So you know where they're going to get their money. You know that they're going to beat them into the ground because DC Universe is just going to go downhill. And with Netflix getting rid of the remaining Marvel properties, you know that they're going to get the diehard fans that will now have no choice but to go, if they want to watch any more of it, over to the Plus service, which is the double-edged sword in this. Because they may not want to pay Disney's subscription price, whatever that's going to be, and Netflix. And they'll have to choose, well, do I want to do Netflix or do I want to do Disney? Well, I really want to watch the next season of Jessica Jones, but Netflix just got Ava. But I want to watch Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Daredevil. But Netflix just got some decent shit. And that's where the decision is going to end up being. Now, in the long run, I'm thinking this decision is going to hurt Netflix. And it's not going to be an instantaneous thing, though a lot of fans and a lot of other people online are calling for people to cancel their Netflix subscription now. Yeah, go for it. Because you know that the MCU is just going to get completely taken over when Disney Plus takes over. A lot of the Marvel shows are going to go straight over to there. The Punisher and Jessica Jones are all I think Netflix has left anymore. you know that they're screwed, as it were. No chance in hell of getting a revival. So the best thing to do would be, ditch your Netflix subscription and go over to Disney Plus when it comes out. But in the meantime, what do you watch? Well, that's the problem. So you have to stay with your Netflix subscription for now until the new stuff comes out. That could be a month, a year, 2 years, or in the case of what we know, late next year. So you have almost a good year, give or take, to have to be without, any of the good programming. That's not to say that Netflix may not come up with something new before the license agreement with Disney runs out, which wouldn't surprise me if they pulled something like that out of their ass. All of a sudden they go, hey, good news, we want to make an Iron Man series. No. We are still in a partnership. We still have a chance. We still have an agreement. It's this long. We can shoot a pilot, make it a made-for-Netflix movie. We can do this thing. Come on, let's roll on this. We bust out everything we got. We can get this one out. No. And that's the only thing that's going to stand in their way is Disney telling them no because it's going to be their property now. Which is sad, but it's what's liable to happen. So if you were a fan of Daredevil Season 3, hope you enjoyed it because it's done. There's no more Daredevil. Iron Fist and Luke Cage are gone. Jessica Jones and Punisher are next up on the chopping block. You know that they're going to go, especially Jessica Jones. And once the license agreement's done with Disney, all of the stuff on Netflix Marvel related is going straight over to the Disney Plus site. That's definite. But other than that, I don't really know what else to say. That's about all you have, so it sucks. Alrighty, so here's something interesting. Now, a lot of people that have ever played console games and a lot of those online ones, you know about the crap that's been going on with loot boxes. A lot of people claiming that they're illegal, that they are basically in-game cheating, or basically high-end gambling inside of video games. I personally know about as much about loot boxes as an elementary student knows about the outside world. So there is that. So apparently loot boxes are going to represent a $50 billion industry by the year 2022, according to research estimates. Children may be participating particularly susceptible to engaging with these in-game purchases, which are often considered integral components of video games, which it basically is. This has basically spawned the FTC to finally investigate these things. And for those of you out there that don't know what that acronym stands for, Federal Trade Commission. Yes, it's governmental. Doesn't that qualify as politics? No, it qualifies as video game for this topic because that's what this is based upon. So, Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Subcommittee hearing about loot boxes, as well as other pressing topics, and a brief exchange on the matter were found on this site. And this was, I believe this was IGN I got this off of, wasn't it? Yes, it's off of IGN, which is pretty reputable. So apparently, this is really fun. So Senator Hassan apparently went on to note research undertaken in Great Britain, which links potential gambling habits to the use of loot boxes, showing a concern that children may develop an addiction to this sort of behavior as a result of buying loot boxes. Not like, they couldn't get a behavioral tick from playing video games that people were complaining about for years. Oh, well, shooter games are extremely violent. They make mass murderers. Okay. And apparently loot boxes can create gambling addicts. Nice to know. Given the seriousness of the issue, it's time to face the facts for the FTC to investigate these mechanisms to ensure that children are being adequately protected and to educate parents about potential addiction or other negative impacts of these games. Like going broke, basically. Because a lot of these kids, and I'm going to say this, because they're targeting this to kids, but the kids aren't the ones whose money is literally being flushed down the toilet. It's the parents. Because no 10-year-old is going to be having a job, pulling down a 3 or 4 figure income, and dropping a crap ton of cash on loot boxes. out of their own pocket. I don't think mowing all those lawns, chucking newspapers, blowing off leaves, and everything else is going to be making you that much money unless you're in a very, very, very unique neighborhood and you are the best at what you do. Unfortunately, that means that your parents are the ones that are going to be taking the full brunt of the financial blow here. So it's basically the parents' money that they're gambling with. And that's always been the thing. Now, loot boxes, I never really understood. I gathered that and this is from my own gathering, by the way, that it's like an in-game thing that possibly has an item that'll help you, but may not help you. So it's basically literally a random chance drop. Sort of like getting, let's say, a massively powerful champion halfway through a game or something. Oh, look, I got a really powerful weapon, yet I'm strong enough that I don't need its extra boost. It's literally just a hindrance. It's something that I kind of feel like that, depending on what your character is. So, apparently there was a report on the where the Australian Senate Committee delivered its final report examining loot boxes in video games, recommending a comprehensive review of the practice. And this has been, a massive thing throughout the entire world. So this isn't just, in the U.S. It's all over the world. And it's just a massive, massive interest to any gamer out there, really. Because loot boxes are now basically it's a way of gaming. Oh, every game has a loot box. I think, what games don't have a loot box anymore? I think they all have a loot box. Fallout, Borderlands, Fortnite, and I know Fortnite's got into a hell of a lot of trouble. So there's a whole bunch of those. But other countries like Belgium and the Netherlands are enforcing bans on loot boxes. While in New Zealand, the UK, and Ireland don't currently consider them to fit the criteria of gambling. I don't know what the criteria is considered for each country, but in all honesty, I consider gambling regardless, because if you think about it, it's gambling. You're literally running the risk of getting a higher up item for doing nothing. It's fine, I don't argue that, but it's the way I see it, it's like a freemium game. And this is basically the only way I can compare it to, is that you're running the risk with a loot box of getting the higher up weapon, the better stuff, or at the same time getting crap. And it's like a freemium game where you get crap in the free version, but if you're willing to put money into it, you have the chance of getting the better upper echelon stuff. Or you could just get the same stuff you've been getting and still be putting money into it. So it's still a crapshoot. It's the same deal here. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that they don't know the whole concept that they're doing is idiotic, to say the least. But that being said, I'm fine with loot boxes being 100% stupid. They never really thrilled me. I still don't understand them. I'm not gonna deny this. I am confused more now than I was when I first heard about loot boxes. There was like an entire loot crate thing. You had loot boxes, a whole bunch of like other stuff that was just going way out of control. Nobody understood it. I'm still confused by half of it, but I saw the article and it seemed interesting. And I'm not gonna lie about that, because for a governmental power to finally say, we need to look into this for video games, that takes something. Because keep in mind how in the U.S. we had the rating system came about after a majority of very gory games came out. That's how we ended up getting the ESRB, which basically was, okay, now we're rating your games. You want to play a game, we're rating them now. So if it's E, that means everybody can play it, it's fine. And then it just goes higher and higher up till you hit the M, where it's like, yeah, you got to be over 18 or 17 to buy this. We ain't selling it to a minor. Whereas the minor could just get the parents to buy it, and it's like, yeah, screw it. End of discussion. But, truthfully, loot boxes still confuse me. They always will confuse me, and every time I think about it, they confuse me. There's nothing more I can say about it. Loot boxes are annoying. They're idiotic. I think they're personally a waste of energy putting into a game, because all it is cannon fodder for people to bitch about. Well, I didn't get that loot box today. If I would have got it, we would have won. And it's like, no, you have no proof of that, and I'm not going to argue with you, but you have no proof. That's what I feel like this is. But then again, like I said, I don't have much information to go off of. I don't know anything about loot boxes other than what an elementary school kid would know about the outside world. I don't know much about them, nor do I want to learn, because they could easily go away just like that. So it's not really worth my time and effort to learn about it. But yeah, they're finally going to be getting investigated. In all honesty, it's about damn time. I'm not going to lie about that. It's about time that they get regulated at least, or looked into. It's like, hey, because you had that entire, it was like a few years ago. There was a skin lottery thing on on Facebook for the one game where you put in like your gift cards in that, and you're put into a lottery to get a skin for your game. And that thing got blown way up. People were investigating the people behind it. I know Pat Contry and Ian Ferguson over on the CU podcast talked about it because it was huge. Pat was even going, this was scummy deals, like one of those QVC type deals or the Home Shopping Network. Basically like, here, come get this. I got this. We're running out of time. We got large amount of quantities. Supplies are limited, something like that. Just to entice people to do it. And he talked about it. If I find the copy of the link for that, because I know all the CU podcast stuff is linked, I'll try to link that video in the description so you can check it out and so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. But otherwise, I think it's a good idea that they're finally looking into this and investigating it. Because if loot boxes are going to be considered illegal and gambling, it's good to try to not get it now. If you want to use in-game coins to buy in-game items that are inside the game's data to begin with, that's not exactly gambling, that's fine. But if loot boxes are going to be considered gambling and you have to use real-world money to access them, that's a problem. That's something I always find annoying, so there is that. Alright, so let's talk about eyes. Yes, eyes. No, I don't mean the eyes that are currently inside of mine and your heads. I mean eyes. The live-action series based off of the manga and subsequent anime and OVAs. First off, love the series. It was one of the first full manga volumes that I ever got. And I mean the full series. It's 15 volumes long. The anime series was a pain in the ass to track down. Want to thank my friend Sean, got it for me the one year for my birthday or for Christmas, one of the two. It's a wonderful series. If you ever get a chance to check it out, I highly recommend it. It is beautiful. The dub is spot on. There's differences between the manga and the anime. And yeah, it's noticeable if you read the manga first, which I recommend read the manga first. I'll explain what the plot of it is because it's in the article then. But basically, the live-action Eye series has got additional cast members announced and some visuals for said cast members were released. So we got a whole bunch of new people that are going to be joining the cast. The official website for the live-action series adaptation of Masakazu Katasuri, or Sura's Eyes manga, revealed additional cast members and a new visual for the show on Monday. The cast members include the following, and I do apologize if I mispronounce any names or butcher them. All new people here to me. You have Haruka as Nami, a strong-minded tomboy, Ichitaka's classmate and Ori's friend. You have Kanoko Sudo as Yukai Morisaki, a normal girl who is Ichitaka's classmate and Ori's friend. Iri Fuse as Ichitaka's mother. Makoto Araki as Ichitaka's father. Usa Makino as Miyoko Kawasaki, Ichitaka's first love from grade school. He's got some bad memories from her. Very bad memories. Let's see here. You have Tatsuya Nakayama as president of Wandanko Drama Club and an upperclassman whom Ori considers reliable. Let's see here. Terunosuke Takazi as Takashi Takezawa, a modeling mentor for Itsuki and a temporary art teacher for Wakanda High School. And yes, it's Wanda High School. Oh, wait, Wakanda. Holy shit, I got Marvel on the brain. Shodai Fukuyama as Kensuke Tamori, Izumi's ex-boyfriend and a member of Wanda High School soccer team. Yumi Adachi as Rei Furukawa, Ori's manager, affiliated with the entertainment company Isa Production. Let's see here. We got another one here from another actor affiliated with Isa Productions, Sango Ishizaki, who will be portrayed by, I should say, Atsushi Arai. Kensuke Hirobi as Issei Kaminoga, CEO of Isa Productions and a stage actor whom Ori greatly respects and admires. And those were the newer ones. So the previously announced cast members, which would be, the ones that are the main bulk of the series here. Ayame Okayama from the live-action Lynchie's Light Club's Jacob as Ichitaka Seto. You got Sei Shirashi as Ori Yoshizuki. Kyoka Shibata as Itsuki Abaki, Ichitaka's younger childhood friend. Ku Ijima as Yamisura Teritai, Ichitaka's good friend. Yuki Ogo, I can't pronounce that last name, Ogoe as Jun Kishone. Kensuke Tomita as Mokichi Kida. Atsumu Mishizuchi as Sejima. Hiromi Haranzu will be portrayed by Takashi Yukaji. Minori Higawara will be Izumi Ishozaki. And Kansaito Kaito as Aki Iso, a native of Akita Prefecture and Ichitaka's neighbor in the apartment building. I'll explain. Don't worry. 13-episode series is going to premiere on December 21st at 9 p.m. Will air on Sky Perfect TV, Sky Perfect TV's BS Skyper channel, and Skyper on-demand service. A special behind-the-scenes program will air first on December 14th. Now, I'm actually not going to lie. I'm not a fan of live-action stuff, especially when it comes to anime adaptations, but I'm actually looking forward to this. And I'm going to explain why as I go a little further into this. It's just a wonderful thing. So Viz Media published all 15 volumes of this manga that this is based off of. This beautiful manga series, by the way. 15 volumes. Oh, man, it did it justice in wonderful words. I could not wait till each volume came out. My mom can attest to that. I'm constantly bugging her. I found this in high school, and I'm constantly bugging her. Can we go to the bookstore? Why? I want to see if the new volume's out yet. It's July. It's supposed to come out in July. I want to see if it's out yet. Can we go to the bookstore? Please, 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 please. And she would get pissed off that I'm asking her all the time. Then she's finally like, all right, fine. Let's go. So we go. It's there. I get it. Or it's not there. I get a little upset. I finally managed to get all 15 volumes. I remember very fondly when I got the last one. I was so excited. But the entire premise of this is as follows. So Ichitaka Seto has a crush on his high school classmate, Ori Itsuki. It's Itsuki. Hold on a second. I have to double check this here. Wait up. Ori Yoshizuki. Okay. I know I was going to mispronounce that last one. I never could get it right even when I was reading it. But ever since she posed for a semi-provocative swimsuit photos in a magazine, she has a lot of sleazy jackasses hitting on her. And I'm paraphrasing because I love this series. This is one of my all-time favorites. This was the series that literally jumped me into starting to buy manga volumes. I'm not not joking on that because I love the series. I loved Eyes. It was one of my all-time favorites. And I did not know that this was being made. If I would have known this was being made, I actually would have been a little more interested in trying to find out more information on it. So I kind of want to see this if I can. At least one episode, I want to see what it looks like. Because this looks really good, and it sounds really good. The only downside I have is, and there are pictures with each of the names in the article. Check the link in the description. There's an issue that I have, but I'll get into that in a minute. So let's see here. So sleazy guy's hitting on her. Ichitaka's afraid to make his feelings known in case she thinks he's just one of the other creeps. Torn between his physical feelings for Ori and his desire for real love, poor Ichitaka's life gets more complicated when his childhood friend Itsuki moves back from America and ends up living in his house. Yes, poor Ichitaka, trapped in a love triangle. 3 eyes: Ichitaka, Ori, Itsuki. Yep, hence the eyes. At least that's what I always thought about it. I know the anime series is like 13 episodes. Really, it's like 12 or 13 episodes. Worth checking out, but read the manga first. I can't stress that one enough. Read the manga first, then watch the anime series, then watch the OVAs, especially Eyes Pure. If you watch Eyes Pure before anything else, you will be completely 100% confused because none of the stuff that happens in that has an impact in either the manga or the anime series. It is a freaking standalone thing for that. And it's just wonderful. But Itsuki's no longer the young girl that Ichitaka remembers. No. She's grown up, and she's filled out a bit, but she's grown up. She's a babe, and she's open with her feelings, and not shy about walking around in a towel. Yeah, not joking either. The series ran in Shueisha's weekly Shonen Jump magazine from 1997 to 2000. The original manga has 10 million copies in print. The series inspired a 2-part OVA in 2002 and a 6-part OVA titled Eyes Pure in 2006. Viz Media released both OVAs in one DVD box set in 2009. Worth checking out. Now, I've only seen Eyes Pure and the Eyes anime series. I don't know about the 2-part OVA. I have to double check my what I have because I might have watched it. It might have been on there. I don't know. I'll have to double check. If not, I'll have to check that out because it's something else Eyes related. But I love this series. I can't stress how much I love this. So the premise of this, and I'll give like a little synopsis review here quick to pad out the time here. So Ichitaka loves Ori. Can't tell her his feelings. Closet feelings for her because he's afraid to tell her because of everything that's been going on. His buddy Tarrington, as I like to call him because I cannot pronounce his name to save my ass, is trying his damnedest to fix the two of them up. They go to the beach together, they spend time at an inn together, they have to perform at a school festival together. But no matter what, the two of them keep having a widening chasm that shrinks and grows and shrinks and grows more times than I change underwear. One of the chapters in the story, they had to walk, they were on a school trip. And they were far away from home. And they had to basically, because Itsuki wanted something from a gift shop that's underneath these gates of love. Now, the whole thing with the gates of love is that if two people that are in love, or a couple, go underneath the gate, I think it was holding hands, that their love will last forever. Ichitaka and Ori go through the gate, but they don't make it to the end because Ichitaka ends up getting a phone call because at this point Itsuki had moved out and her apartment was on fire. And his mom is freaking out, calling him, going, she can't find her, nobody's seen her, her apartment's on fire, and then the phone just cuts out. It was like volume 5. And that was just the massive part there. Then you have Itsuki moving out for good. She ends up going back to America. Ichitaka tries his damnedest to patch things up with Ori. She starts doing more modeling work and everything else. Ichitaka moves out of his parents' place, gets a job at a convenience store where he meets when he's in his apartment, he meets the girl next door. Another I name, by the way, who I want to say he gets feelings for, but let's face it, Ori's the main thing in his mind, and it always will be. She is the love of his life. If you want to quote the Adam Sandler movie Hotel Transylvania, he zinged for her, basically. So she knows that he's with somebody, that he loves somebody else, so she tries to distance herself from him. Then a whole bunch of other stuff happens, and we find out that Ichitaka takes on a person that was threatening to injure Ori. Iori. And he ends up going into a coma after getting his head bashed against the side of a building. Everybody rushes to try to get Iori to send Ichitaka a message like, hey, get a hold of him. You got to talk to him. He's in a coma. He may not come out of it. At this point, her production company and the people that are in charge of her are like, look, we don't want him dealing with her. We don't want him near her. She is still a bud yet that can bloom into something wonderful, and we want to capitalize on it. And she eventually realizes that what she wanted out of acting and what she wanted out of this is not what she gets. And she realized that, you know what, this really is an idiotic idea. I lived it. Now I see that it's not what I thought it was going to be. I don't like it. Now, I know a lot of people have some hatred towards the series, and I'm not going to deny, it does have some really bad vibes that you can get from it if you're not careful. Like, don't live your dream. Oh, you need a guy all the time. But it's not the case. And I just like the series because it's so wonderful. The one thing I have an issue with this live-action series. Now, I know that there's a character in here that's sort of in between. It's the one that's character's named June. In the manga, apparently June's a guy. At least to the best of my knowledge, and keep in mind it's been years since I've actually sat down and read each volume again. Oh, God, I could do that. I actually have all my manga in a nice new box. I could put it all in that. It's a nicer plastic tub. I could pull it out and read. Just got to move a couple boxes yet off the top of it, and I can pull them out and read them. I want to get one of those for my Legos yet. I gotta remember. I gotta start jotting stuff down. But anyway, because in the one, I'm pretty sure it was portrayed as a guy, because in the one, he makes a comment that he was taught, karate by his grandfather. He hates fighting, pacifist by nature, defends Ori, or Iori, I should say. I keep mispronouncing her name too. After the quote-unquote main villain of the series, as you would, basically takes it upon himself to try to get with her. He got expelled. He was a student, former classmate of theirs. He got expelled because he was taking illicit videos of the girls. It's a good series, and it definitely shows you that, hey, even though there are sleazebags in the world, there are still nice people that are willing to do good things. Ichitaka is always the one that comes riding to Iori's aid. The White Knight, if you would. And it's just a wonderful series. I should do a freaking review on it. I really should. And with the live action, I should probably do a review on it. I think I probably will. But anyway, it's a great series. It's getting a live action series based on it. Love it. If you get a chance to read the volumes, I recommend it highly. Worth the time and effort you'd be putting into it. I cannot stress that enough. It is worth the time just to read it. I'm not kidding. Watch the OVA, though, before you do anything else, because if you read the manga, then watch the OVA, then watch the anime, you are going to be lost. Because the OVA is a standalone event, so then all you have left then is the anime and the manga. The anime series closely follows the manga. It differs, like I said, at certain points, like we don't really see June, but we don't really get a majority of the other fleshed out stuff that we had from the manga either. So there is that. There was a fourth girl that got introduced the second time they were at the beach prior to graduation. Not worth it to mention her. She was like a one-off, run-off character. She sucked ass. I think she was personally there just to screw with Iori and Ichitaka. But Ichitaka's childhood classmate, the one that he has bad memories of, he told her that he liked her. And she basically told him he's disgusting, he's horrible, don't talk to me ever again. And that hurt him. That just destroyed his confidence. And it was his friend Itsuki that goes, you shouldn't listen to her. You should ignore everything she says, because if you like something, go after it with everything you have. And he took those words to heart and basically just lived his life like that. When he met Iori, he just fell in love. And the kicker was, with the manga, the best part that I liked, there was a part when when him and Iori, I keep mispronouncing her name, were waiting for the events to start, planning out the cultural festival, if I think is what it was. And they're trying to figure out something to do, and they're literally sitting so far apart at this table, it's not funny. And she's clicking her mechanical pencil, and she looks at him and goes, do you have any lead? And he just goes, yeah. And in his mind, he's going, okay, now I can be suave and debonair. Get up, walk over to her and go, here you go, here's the lead. Now, how about we figure out how to do this and try to be like all nice and actually be a human, not be shy? Only to just slide the lead across the table. Like, you know what? That idea, it's not worth it. The hell am I doing? I shouldn't even be trying this idea. He defends her multiple times. It's just, I can't put into words how great the story is. It was one of the first ones, like I said, to ever get me involved in buying manga. I read the preview in Shonen Jump. It was like I think a 2 or 3 week preview. No, it was a one-off chapter. Bakuman was like a 3-month preview. Eyes was a one-off chapter. I read that. I just fell in love with it instantaneously. It's almost like it's the story of my life, but it's not. But yeah, it's making me want to do a review. I'm going to have to add that to my list of things I want to review. Definitely going to have to add Eyes to my list now. But anyway, if you get a chance to check out Eyes, I highly recommend it. It's worth every minute of your time. It's getting a live action thing. I'm going to try to watch it, and I'll let you know how that was. If you get a chance to watch it, let me know. I want to know how cool it was. Please. I mean, it sounds really interesting. Alright, everybody. Well, that's going to do it this week for the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. I'd like to thank you all for joining me for this hour something. We were all together. I mean, it means so much to me to know that fans like you exist. And don't forget, if you have any topic ideas that you'd like to suggest for the podcast, feel free to drop them off either on my discussion section here on the YouTube channel, on my Twitter page at Otaku Roads on Twitter, on the Web Designer 18 Facebook page, or on the podcast email, acrpodcast@gmail.com, all lowercase. And by the way, for those of you out there wondering, the next Q&A video, I haven't decided a date for it yet. I'll have that video up this week, saying what the date is. I'm fine-tuning everything, figuring out if I'm going to be able to do this. I think I've worked out the issue with my camera that I had. If not, I will have it fixed, I swear, prior to it. Come hell or high water. I'm not joking. I'm still pissed about that. Hopefully I fixed it, because I started having the same issue with my flash drive tonight. So I should have it fixed now. Hopefully. Who the hell knows? I hope I have it fixed. But anyway, until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. This has been the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for sticking around with me. And until next time, stay gold. Bye, everybody.